to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
You ready?
Come on!
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Think it's a game.
Try to draw me with a case, but you know I hadn't skated. I was singing like, ooh. I swung in. Boy, I know my role and I play. I do. If you heard that I'm talking, then I said it. I did. Quan, where you at? At the top of the loft, in the I stay. I'm a bad boy, but I don't wear big clothes like me.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I am your host. I'm Robin Ayers with you Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. on your drive home. It is hot outside, you guys. It is hot out there. Please, Los Angeles, stay hydrated on that freeway or outside, wherever you are. If you are at home, good. Okay, stay there, because it is plenty of heat out there. Happy Thursday to all of you. I hope that you have enjoyed your week. We are almost there, guys. We are almost there to Friday or the weekend. Whatever you celebrate, we are almost there. Wow. Yeah. First of all, I see you, Raw Squad, coming into the building and coming into our YouTube building. I appreciate you guys tapping in with us today. Of course, we have to get into a topic that is, you know, sometimes we have to discuss some of the harder things on this show. It is still in entertainment, and wow, we had a hard one today. Definitely the entertainment industry, the rap industry, the culture as a whole. It was a hard one today. It's been a hard one lately, just the past several days. You know, we're sending our condolences out to Georgia Appalachian High School. I know that was a really, really tough thing that they just had to endure. So we are sending our condolences to a lot of people today. Before we get into our show, I do want to give you guys a little bit of some things that maybe you should know about. Singer Genuine, he actually just posted this. This R&B singer, he's been around since the 90s. We love Genuine around these parts. He announced he is 2 months sober today. I think that that's incredible, especially given the topic of what we're talking about today. I think it's incredible. I truly want to celebrate Genuine for not only that in his own life, but announcing that as well. I think that even steps, whether they're baby steps, because he even acknowledged, he said it may not be a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to him. So, and it's a big deal to me too. I don't know Genuine, but I'm sending him all the love and encouragement. I pray that he continues on and continues to remain sober for his life. So good for you, Genuine, sending him some love. Jennifer Hudson, for those R&B fans or television host fans, we now know her as an actress. She is a television host, but she started out as a singer. Jennifer Hudson, she's not put out music or new music in 10 years. She's been booked and busy, but not in the studio up until now. She says that she is finally working on putting some music out. So those fans, because, you know, she sings all the time. If you ever watch her show, the Jennifer Hudson show, her talk show, if you ever watch that, she's singing all the time. She sings with different guests or just by herself. And so, of course, she loves it. We could tell that she loves it. So people, I'm sure, are looking forward to this new album. So we'll keep you posted on that. Also, another singer, more of a neo soul singer, 4-time Grammy award-winning artist Sade. She is putting out new music. It's been a lot of years since we've heard from Sade as well. And according to New York Times, the song that she's putting out, her first single that she's dropping, is called Young Lion, and it's dedicated to her son, Isaac Theo Abu, who is a transgender man. I can only imagine what they have endured with their life and all that's gone on. And we know in the LGBTQ plus community, we know there's been a lot of things going on. And maybe that could be a reason why Sade just sort of tended to her family and didn't come out with music for a while. But here she is. She's like, I'm back, putting new music out, and I'm going to dedicate this to my son, my transgender son. So I know we have some Sade fans out there, so we'll keep you posted on when that music comes out as well. Lastly, wow, the Will Smith, I guess due to schedule conflicts, he dropped his starring role in this $80 million action film. The movie was called Sugar Bandits. And for whatever reason, I don't know what was more important or what he had, previously committed to. He is not doing this role anymore, this film. They don't know who is going to be cast. They don't have any information on that, who's going to play Will or anything like that. But it's almost like, now, after you watch the film and you knew it was supposed to be Will Smith, can somebody fill those shoes, basically? Well, we don't know. The movie is called Sugar Bandit, so whenever you hear some information or you see a trailer, of course, I'll try to bring it to you here on the Raw Report. But also, if you see it and you find out who's going to be that star, then you'll know just by listening here that it was supposed to be Will Smith, but he's got something else going on. Let's just go ahead and get into the Rob Report, Andy.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Man, I'm sorry, y'all. We got to talk about this, though. I mean, it's a heavy one, but we have to address it because it's a real thing, too. Rapper, and he's an Atlanta staple, a South music or Southern music staple, Rich Homie Quan, such an icon in this business right now. He is dead at the age of 34, and it's being speculated. Okay, this has not been confirmed or anything like that, but it's being speculated and reported that it was due to a drug overdose. In fact, his girlfriend, she's the one who called. She found him. She's the one who called, and she described what he looked like, what was going on with him at the time, and all things sort of point in that direction. But more than that, of course, Rich Homie Quan, we send our condolences to his family, his friends, and obviously it's a sad loss. It's a big loss in the music industry. But this it's an epidemic. It's music, the music that's influencing drugs, that's influencing this entire generation, the gun violence and drug use. It is so prevalent right now. What can we change? Can we change it? Is there anything that we can do? Is it important for these guys to say, listen, I'm gonna stop doing it, like Genuine, who said, I'm sober now, putting those messages out. Is that what we need more of? Well, we need to discuss that. We will discuss that with our contributor who is calling in today with us. We are also going to talk about, I love this one, Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans, of course, of the famous Wayans brothers and family. He is talking about his instinct and following his instinct when it came to casting comedian and actor great, the late John Witherspoon, who played his dad in the big show Wayans Brothers. It kind of goes hand in hand. Like he is definitely giving John Witherspoon his flowers posthumously, of course, but he did it while he was alive as well. It goes with the question that I have of the day. The question comes from KRS-One. KRS-One, who is an icon. We can't deny that. He's calling out hip hop. He's calling out hip hop. He says, you guys remember we talked about Fat Man Scoop yesterday. He says hip hop should have given Fat Man Scoop his flowers before he died. Do you agree with that? Is it about time that we start really looking out for and paying homage to the rappers, the icons, the people who we deem very important in the business, giving them their flowers and looking out for them while they're alive rather than talking about them or giving them their flowers after they pass? We'll put that inside the poll for you guys, of course, and we'll get started on the other side. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Lil Real Howery. Right now, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right. The Raw Report.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. Tabitha Smiley's new book, The Covenant with Black America, 20 years later, is now on sale everywhere. This classic text shot to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list almost 2 decades ago. If you have the original book, you will surely want to get this 20th anniversary edition with powerful new contributions from today's leading voices. This 20th anniversary edition presents a compelling blend of historical insights and contemporary urgency in this critical and unprecedented election year. Get your copy of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later today.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the potty. Less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Roll it back. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushioning, so our cheeks feel fine. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning. But now, you can say goodbye to stand-up gush fears. Thanks to Always Ultra Thins with rapid dry technology. It absorbs gushes 2 times faster than the leading store brand and gives you up to 100% leak-free protection. Hello, clean and comfortable with Always Fear No Gush.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
You know, I am happy to have on the line with us today Chris Gunther from The Chris Gunther Show. So happy to have you here, Chris. And I truly appreciate you joining me to on The Raw Report to have this hard discussion. But, I mean, the first half of it, I'm sure, is going to be a tough one. But I'm glad that you're here with us, Chris. Welcome.
Man, I appreciate you so much for having me. And yeah, this is definitely a hard topic, but I would rather have this kind of type of discussion with somebody that I know I can trust to have this conversation with. There's nobody else I'd rather have a hard topic to discuss with other than you. So thank you for allowing me to be here with you, because definitely it's going to be a tough one, but you got your boy with you, so let's go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Well, definitely appreciate you, Chris. Let's just jump right into this. Who would have ever thought that we would see, headlines like Rich Homie Quan dead at 34? Who's expecting that? We're not expecting that. We expect these, well, it's hard to say this because we understand this drug culture. We understand the gun violence and all of that, but we still expect these young people to make it, right? We expect them to go far, to live long. First of all, how did you react seeing the news of Rich Homie Quan passing away?
To be 100% honest, I didn't believe it at first, just because you constantly hear weird rumors going around. But once I seen it get confirmed, I just kind of got speechless, like, wow. And then once I started to read about it and to see the reports, then my heart broke even more, because we have another human being gone as a result of an accidental overdose. Now, the part that is so sad, and it's just very frustrating, especially as a young black, especially as somebody who was young and black and in this type of media space, it is so heartbreaking to see another person is gone because of an accidental overdose or fooling around with drugs. Drugs are not your friend. Drugs are not something that is something that you should look forward to taking every single day. It may leave you temporarily feeling better in the moment, but the end result, it never ends well. It is not something that you should ever fool around with, because once you get started, it's hard to get off. And I was listening to the first blog. I'm beyond happy that Genuine is sober for the last 2 months. That is incredible. But I'm pretty sure he will be one of the first people to tell you, look here, man, you don't want to do this. This is not the way to go. And my sincere prayers go out to Rich, to his family and to the people that knew him the most, because this is not an easy thing for them to deal with, especially having to deal with it in the public spotlight. I just really wish that people would take into consideration what is at stake here once you start to do anything with drugs.
Absolutely. I mean, and these accidental overdose, as you mentioned, it really is a thing now. There's so many, and I don't know how that happens. Listen, I know that they are, what do you call it when they putting other things inside of drugs and lacing it with it? I mean, I know that that's a thing. We know that fentanyl is now on the scene, and just a small, tiny bit of even touching fentanyl or being around it. And I'm not saying, by the way, that this is what he died from. I'm not putting that out there. I'm just saying we know that fentanyl and different things like that are out there, and especially when it comes to accidental overdose, things that are laced in these drugs that they are used to taking. The thing that I can't figure out, and I talked about this before, it almost seems as though this is impossible, but it seems as though there should be some sort of therapy, counseling, or something like that. You remember we talk about this on this show a lot, where we used to have artist development. There used to really be a thing such as artist development, how to do media training, how to perform, dancing, things like that, how to dress, bringing in stylists. All of that used to matter. A part of that package, though, because I don't even know that they did this back then, but a part of that package should be some form of counseling, especially for rappers and people like that who had trauma, who were trying to overcome trauma. Because what happens is you went through whatever you went through in your life, right? And I'm not saying that this is the case with all rappers, but a lot of them talk about their traumas. They talk about childhood traumas and them probably doing drugs even before they made it big. And then they bring it into this lifestyle. Now they're rich. Now they're famous. Now they have more money. Now they have more money to buy drugs, and their homies to buy drugs. And it's becoming even more implemented in their lifestyle. I think that personally, I would love for something like that to happen. I think of the flip side is maybe just the party life. Maybe it's not trauma based. Maybe it's just the party life, and that is what the culture is. Everybody's smoking, everybody's drinking on something. I don't even know if syrup or scissor or whatever, codeine, I don't know if those things are still prevalent, but everybody's doing it. And then they're putting it in these songs, Chris, like influencing this culture. That's the big problem, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think another big problem is personal accountability. You know, after a while, you can't keep using the same excuse. You can't keep saying, well, you know, I've been doing this since I was 13, and, you know, this is all that I knew from my childhood. This is all that I knew from the hood coming up. After a while, you got to really separate yourself from your childhood trauma. You got to take accountability for your actions. You have to really want to do the work to get better. And the part that is so frustrating is we continue to see this toxic culture of another rapper is gone because of drug use, accidental overdose, couldn't get off the bottles, couldn't get off the pills, etc. At some point, they're going to got to look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves, is this worth it? Is this worth every single thing that I worked for? Is taking this drink or taking this pill laced with what God knows what? If I take this, am I really ready to face the consequences that come with this? And I'm willing to bet you any amount of money, if they were to really sit back and examine, a lot of them would say no. Because the grave is filled with a lot of people that wish they could take it back.
I agree with you. Andy?
I think we got to, when it comes to drugs and this topic right here, I think we need to specify. You know what I mean? Because I know there's so many drugs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Drugs is an umbrella term. We could be talking about over-the-counter drugs as well, too.
Sure,
people are addicted to that as well.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to specify certain drugs because there are quote-unquote drugs out there that can be actually beneficial. So I just think it's important for us to specify. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
what are we talking about here? Alcoholism? Are you a crackhead? Are you a weed head? Something like that. Ain't nobody passing away from weed, from what I know.
Okay, all right. I hear you, but it's sort of implied, right? You don't think so? It's just given the topic, it's implied. We're talking about hard drugs or drugs that can kill you. We're not talking about, you know, I mean, for the most part, right? You don't think that that's implied?
Yes, it's implied, but also I think that there's some people who still view weed in a negative way. So that's why I just feel like we need to specify. To me, I hear you. I mean, okay, so for the weed heads out there, Andy, hold on a second. This sounds like you got something to, you know, this is a personal thing. But let me just say,
I picked up on that.
Let me just say this. He said no. Let me explain this though. Marijuana, ladies and gentlemen, depending upon where you go, especially in the United States, have become legal. They've become legal, such as other over-the-counter drugs and things like that. So, yeah, I know people can probably still look at marijuana, weed smokers and all that and have a negative view on it. It's associated with a negative connotation, and I get that. We have come a long way from over that. I agree. I have never heard of anybody passing away from smoking weed. Never have I ever. I'm sort of implying that we're talking about hard drugs that can kill you. To me, that's implied. Chris Gunther, your thoughts. I mean, let me just say this. Let me put this out there. And I'm reading you guys' comments as well. I have to say this. Morris Phillips, thank you for this. I think these are lyrics. It says, if you got bad news and want to kick the blues, cocaine. That came from Eric Clapton. We're going to get high with the music on. Came from Paul McCartney in the Wings. This is not just relegated to the hip hop community. This is not that.
Right.
I do want to make that very clear. This is a worldwide thing in different genres, different, actors. You hear about what was it? Studio 56, Studio 57? Who? River Phoenix?
Studio 56.
Okay. Y'all who in the comments, let me know. This has been around, okay? I can't address everything. I can't address everybody. We are talking about Rich Homie Quan, who passed away today or yesterday. He passed away today, this morning, and because he's in our community, this community, the hip hop community, the black community, the young community, this generation, that's why we're talking about it right now, because he's not the only one, and it's prevalent. So I'll say that too. It matters because it's prevalent, because they're talking to, the circle gets a little bit bigger. They're talking to this generation, but it is a bubble. We got all of these people listening to the same music and thinking that is cool. So they go to school or they hang in with their homies, and they're also getting high. So my question back to you, Chris, what is it that needs to change? Is it, okay, if you're going to do your drugs, you handle your business, then you just need to keep it quiet and off of the songs? Or first of all, hopefully they get help, right? Hopefully they get help. They clean up, they sober up, like Genuine. They sober up, and then that becomes the thing, the cool thing. I mean, your thoughts on that, Chris?
If it's okay with you, just for the sake of time, maybe I should answer this on the other side of the Raw Report, because I know we got to hit.
Sir, that's my job.
I'm just saying. I've been with you for a while now.
That's my job.
I think I need to hit this on the other side.
Okay, that means
if you want me to hit on it right now, I can.
That means you have a lot to say.
I'm trying to be respectful. Dang right, I do.
Okay. Andy,
I'll give you a quick preview. Lil Durk.
Okay.
We talked about Lil Durk a couple weeks ago, maybe about last month, and he was talking about going to therapy.
Yeah.
We need individuals like him who's in that life talking about, straying away from the negativity. So that's one aspect.
I hear that, and I like that. I like it a lot. I think that if we had more Little Durks and more, I'm only saying Genuine, guys, because he just posted this thing, but it still works for this topic.
Yes, he did.
Okay. But if we had more of them, I feel like it has to almost be a conglomerate. It has to be a galvanized situation. We gather together, and then we get this message out. Let's continue this conversation on the other side. Of course, we will still talk about Marlon Wayans and the John Witherspoon on the other side. Right now, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at The Raw Report. Keep it live.
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Nearly 1 million students are heading back to the classrooms in New York City for the first day of school. Black Mayor Eric Adams and school's chancellor David Banks are greeting students and parents at PS 257 in Brooklyn. There are 24 new school buildings opening up, and many classes are smaller now to meet a new state law. At some point during the school year, officials are expected to announce a student cell phone restriction policy citywide. Some individual schools have their own phone restriction policies in place. Mississippi Democratic Congressman Benny Thompson was the featured speaker at a conference on civic engagement Wednesday at Tougaloo College in Jackson. HBCU students from across the state gathered to participate in discussions about voting rights, overcoming barriers to voting, and understanding Project 2025. Thompson, who is Black, also told students the upcoming November presidential election could be the most important of their lifetime. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
We still got a stall in the Griffith Park area, 134 eastbound, right before the 5. The carpooling is blocked or jammed back from Buena Vista. Also in South Pasadena, looks like a stall on the right side, the right lane of the 110 freeway northbound just past Fair Oaks. And we've got a crash in South LA, 110 freeway southbound right before the 105. It's in the express lanes. You're slow from Stadium Way.
September 15th to 21st is Asthma Peak Week, with the highest concentration of asthma flare-ups and hospitalizations. To become a more active participant in your care, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org. Is this the time?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Magic Johnson has made another addition to his business portfolio. Magic is a new investor with the Washington Spirit, one of the 15 franchises in the National Women's Soccer League. Magic agreed to become a partial owner with majority owner Michelle Kane, who bought the team in 2022 for $35 million. Magic's involvement will likely boost up the value of the franchise. Magic has ownership in the NFL Washington Commanders, the Dodgers, and the LA Sparks in the WNBA. The Dodgers are off today. They're at home tomorrow night against Cleveland. The Angels are at the Texas Rangers tonight to start a 7-game road trip. One of the 4 persons killed Wednesday in that fatal shooting at Appalachian High School in Georgia was an assistant coach for the school's football team. Richard Aspinwall was the team's defensive coordinator. The 39-year-old Aspinwall was married with 2 daughters. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Come to
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Out, 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 out. You got $100 bill, get your hands up. You got a $50 bill, get your hands up. You got a $20 bill, get your hands up. You got a $10 bill, get your hands up. Single ladies, I can't hear y'all. Single ladies, make noise. Single ladies, I can't hear y'all. Single ladies, make noise. All the chicken heads, be quiet. All the chicken heads, be quiet. All the chicken heads, be quiet. Yeah, baby, stop this. Scoop, face, never sing along. Come on.
You are listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop. There will never be another voice like that. There will never be another voice. You cannot replicate what that man has done in the industry on songs. I mean, you cannot replicate that. You know instantly when Fat Man Scoop is on a record. You know instantly. Thank you for that, Andy.
You're very welcome. You know what kills me? the algorithm be on it on YouTube sometimes, right? So, I follow like, a couple financial literacy, channels or whatnot. And it's crazy. I went back home last night. I pop on YouTube, and this one financial literacy guy that I follow had an interview with Fat Man Scoop. And I thought he was playing like an archived interview, you know what I'm saying, kind of like as a tribute to him. But it turns out to be that he actually interviewed him like last week, August 30th.
Wow.
And you know what I'm saying, he passed away. And Fat Man Scoop, he was talking all nothing but financial literacy, real estate, and the passion that this guy had goals.
Wow.
He had goals, and he was on a mission to kind of like, he was on his path to educate people, you know what I mean? Because he said he sucked him out. You know what I'm saying? The financial literacy dude. He was like, I watch Earn Your Leisure, this, that, and the third. So you can see the passion coming from him and whatnot. But it's just sad to see the fact that this man had plans, he had goals, and for him to just, pass away.
Yeah, wow. Please let us know where we could find that too, because I'm sure
it's an Indian dude by the name of Jaspreet Singh. He's a financial literacy dude or whatnot, and he had an interview with Fat Man Scoop.
Okay, well, I'll definitely check that out. Thank you for that. If you guys are just joining us, welcome on into the conversation. We are talking about Rich Homie Quan. He's dead at 34. It's being reported that it was due from an accidental overdose, which is happening too much in this, just with young people. I looked at all the rappers under 30 who have gone too soon. They're either killed, don't get me wrong, there are some caveats here, but gun violence, drug use, drug overdoses, I mean, those seem to be the large majority of what's taking our people out. And on the other side, we're talking to Chris Gunther from the Chris Gunther Show, and you were so kind as to tell me you wanted to talk about this on the other side. So here we are. Give me your thoughts, whatever it is that you were going to say. We will give the mic back over to you, sir.
These guys got to change their circle. They got to change their circle. They got to change their mindset. Too many times not saying we as in you and I, but too many times people can surround themselves with yes men that tell them, hey, man, keep doing your thing. Keep doing what you've been doing. And nobody has somebody in that corner that's going to tell them what they really need to hear. Like, look, bro, you effing up. You messing your money up. You messing your mind up. You messing everything that you worked so hard for. You messing it up by messing around with these drugs. And if you keep this up, you're not going to be around too much longer. Now we see all of the repetitive cycles that have happened. We got these young kids. We got these young adults that they're not even living past a certain age because they can't put the drugs down. At some point, you got to look around you and you got to really reevaluate to see who is with you that's really going to rock with you, that's going to tell you what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear. We got too many of them people that are literally going into graves because they're not taking accountability and everybody around them and telling them it's okay. And some of them, and I blame a lot of these managers, these publicists, cats working with them behind the scenes, I blame them because you guys are now starting to become accomplices to the foolishness. At some point, you got to grow up.
I mean, it's a word. It's definitely a word. I like that too. I don't know. I don't know how realistic it is for people to change their circle in a positive way. Usually you're either bringing your people that you already knew, people who you feel like they were with me from day one. We got it out the mud together. I mean, those type of people, you're bringing them with you. Or if you do befriend other people, if you're in the industry, they happen to be like-minded. You do have some people who've talked about, looking up to the OGs, the mentors, the Jay-Z's, even Jeezy, people like that who've been through it. He had a drug culture about him. He was selling drugs for a very long time, and he changed it up. He switched it up. He's now an entrepreneur. He's an author. He's a father. I mean, he's been a father for quite some time, but he's looked at in a different manner, and so he tries to give a lot of game now. T.I., those kind of guys who are older and survived the culture from back in the day, they're now, sort of lending their experience and their wisdom to these younger guys. But it's just like, do you have the ears to hear? I'm going to say this and then go ahead, Andy. You go ahead.
Look, music is a reflection of society. And I understand, we put a lot of, responsibility on the OGs, those who've been there, done that. But it starts in the home, too. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It starts with, your community, that street that you on, that kid that you see that's walking to school. You may see him, doing something. You should be able to say something to that kid. You know what I mean? Because it's just a reflection. It's just a reflection. You know what I mean? And if the community changes, the music will change. Easier said than done. So I don't want to just put it just on our celebrities. You know what I mean? If you're a father out there and you got kids, if you're an uncle, if you're a godparent, you know what I mean? If you're an older gentleman, if you're an older teenager, you know what I mean? And you're working with middle schoolers or whatnot, you should be able to say something, because that's where it starts.
I don't disagree with you, Andy, not at all. I do believe that it does start in the home. I think that is the foundation of it all. I'm speaking as a parent myself. Of course, we're still very involved in our kids' lives. However, I will say this. There's a lot of parents who want to do great, and they are doing a great job at home, but you send your kids off to a school where it's very influential, where the music is influential. So yeah, you said that the streets is a reflection, or the music is a reflection of the streets, right? I would say, not that that's wrong, but I would also say that music or streets is a reflection of music. I think that I'm not saying that one versus the other. I think that the two, it doesn't have to be and or, it can be both and, and I feel that is probably the case in what we're talking about. Hip hop is the biggest genre that we have. It is everywhere. It is influencing jingles and songs about fast food restaurants. You can watch a Target or Walmart commercial. The hip hop music is there. The slang is there. I mean, it is so influential that it does impact the streets, the culture, the generations, the world, globally. I mean, we could say anything. It has a major impact. And so a lot of that stems from that childhood, the childhood that we're talking about. It's just sad that not a lot of, not a lot of parents, but there's a shared responsibility. I can't put it on. I'm not saying that it's just on celebrities. I'm not putting that weight on them or that burden on them, but it's shared. It is. Andy?
I'm with you. I know Chris kind of mentioned a little bit, like, putting the responsibility on these music executives a little bit. I'm not going to put any responsibility on them. I think those are the gatekeepers. Those are the ones that's allowing this to happen. What we need is balance.
We need balance. Yeah.
We need balance, period.
We say this often on this show. I mean, it's multi-layered, like many things that we talk about on this show. I don't think that there's one answer, but it's always important to talk about the answers, some of the answers. We could go on and on this topic. The last thing that I will say is that most of these guys and women, because there are girls who are passing away who are overdosing as well. And I'll say to them, to the people who are alive and still with us, that you don't think it's you. Most of these rappers don't think that it's going to be them. And if they did know, if they had got an inkling, or if they got a word, right, from God, or someone told them, this is what's going to take you out, I'm positive they would stop. I'm positive that they would stop. They never think it's going to be them. I would just implore these people, the same ones who are taking drugs, who are talking about it in their music, and influencing culture, I would just say, think that it's going to be you. Just assume that it's going to be you. You get what I'm saying? Just think about that, and that it's probably inevitable. I pray that it's not, but I would think about it that way. It's inevitable that it's going to happen to me. That's the way that I would think about it. So that's the last thing I say. Chris, I don't know if you have a word for it, but or if you have a last word. If not, we will move on to this next topic.
I'm good.
Okay. And I meant to get to it already. It's just it's a topic I knew we needed to discuss, and I knew that there were different angles, different views to look at this. So, let's talk about Marlon Wayans here. Let's get into this clip. He was on Club Shay Shay. Marlon Wayans talked about a lot on this interview, but specifically right now, he was talking about his love for John Witherspoon. And when they were pitching him, Marlon Wayans and his brothers, Sean Wayans, were a part of a 5-season sitcom called The Wayans Brothers, and they wanted John Witherspoon as their dad. Marlon Wayans is talking to Shannon Sharpe about his meeting with One Network and what happened as a result of that.
They didn't want John Witherspoon. They didn't want him. They thought he was too ghetto. They thought that John was too country, that he was too Detroit. You know, that Detroit player, brother. You know, John has a very, distinct personality, exactly. Bro. He was very, John the ghetto. They didn't want him as our father. Me and Sean was like, we don't want no other father. And they was like, either you replace the father or you don't get on our air. And we said, we're not replacing the father. And so NBC didn't pick us up. So then we're nowhere. And then WB is being created, and they need a flagship show. And we did this pilot called Wayans Brothers. And they was like, we'll take it. We'll take it. So me and Sean, with John, we said, you gotta take John Witherspoon, bet. And from there, the Wayans Brothers.
You do realize to be on network television, and the only thing that you had to do in order to get on network television was to change a character. You know how many people would have changed that one character?
Yeah. But not, we have a loyalty and we have instincts.
He said we have loyalty, we have instincts. Chris, I want to finish up this on the other side because I love what Marlon Wayans is saying here about instincts, following them, and then that loyalty part too. We'll get to that. Yeah, on the other side, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Denzel Whitaker, and I'm on the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Looks like Bobby needs a ride again.
Grab the keys. Let's take our auntie to the swap meet. Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, do it all in a Chevy SUV. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8% must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they They host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Rob Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Forrest Harrison says, I couldn't see anyone else playing Pops in that show. He was always funny with no script. Absolutely. We were talking about Wayans brothers and Marlon Wayans, who said they wanted to stick true to their loyalty and cast John Witherspoon as their father in their very popular show. And they walked away from NBC because NBC did not want John Witherspoon. Chris, I mean, the loyalty here is next level, number one. I feel that we don't have that. That is a staple. That is so important. I don't think that we really have that nowadays. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to lay a blanket statement here. I'm sure we have some people out there who would hold it down like that. But, you know, I don't know if you agree, because this industry is crazy, but running into that type of loyalty.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Your thoughts on that?
Running into loyalty in this media space, it's like the Dallas Cowboys winning a Super Bowl. It ain't going to happen no time soon. So the fact that we have people like Marlon that stay loyal, that is something that you don't see every day. And it paid off, because we saw how legendary of a run that they had. And John Witherspoon, God rest his soul, was incredible. He was the perfect fit. And you also got to think, Marlon said in the interview with Shannon, they don't make comedies, they make classics. So they could see further down the line than anybody else could. They knew that show was going to be a classic comedy, and they said, nah, we want him, and that's who we going to have. If y'all want to rock with us, cool, we're going to go somewhere else. And it paid off.
Yeah, it definitely paid off. They had 5 successful seasons on the WB. It was great. Your thoughts, I mean, I don't know if you've ever had, I'm sure you have, but maybe you can recall a time where you followed your instincts and it led you to, you know, the right place. Sometimes, even for myself, I'll say, sometimes, you know, you have to just do that. You have to, I mean, it's so hard sometimes to listen to the outside noise when you are unsure of something, and then you have the outside noise telling you something that's completely opposite of what you're feeling. That is the good thing to do. It could be very hard to stick to your guns, right? But Marlon and Sean said, no, there was something here. There was something about this, you know. Even for myself, I'll say, I put out my very first book called Unspoken Languages. And I heard from different people when I never thought I'd be an author, number one, but I heard from different people what they thought I should write about. Everybody was like, no, I think it'll be cool if you wrote about this, because that's sort of what was going on in my life at the time. And I was like, that to me wouldn't make sense without this thing, me telling my story, me telling people where I come from and why I have a belief system as strong as I do. And because of that, me putting out that book, I've gotten so many people who've read the book who told me how it helped them, how it impacted them, or it inspired them to, you know, in their own lives, or to write a book themselves or something like that. So for me, that's a instinctual moment that I've had that that I could relate to Marlon with. Is there anything that you can recall for yourself?
I've had several of them. I've had several people who approached me about certain ideas and certain people that they wanted me to have as a guest on the Chris Gunther show, but my gut feeling told me I should not do it because something just didn't feel right. And well and behold, I found out the kind of stuff they were really into behind the scenes, and my name would have got affiliated with it, and I turned it down, and I said no. So trusting your gut and trusting your instincts, man, it really will save you from some heartbreak.
Yeah, that's for sure. I have inside of our YouTube poll, you guys have been answering. The question was, should fans give icons their flowers while they're alive? The answers are, we should treat everybody that way. That's 68% of you say that. 26% of you say treat icons special and love on them. 5% say, how do we know when they'll pass away, right? That's true. You know, you would think like, okay, if we knew that Fat Man Scoop was going to pass away, we'd probably have, given him his flowers a lot more. It's hard. That's a hard thing. It's a real question, though. Your thoughts, because I know we only have a couple minutes left, Chris, but I'm sure you know that because, you said you'd be with the Raw Report. You know what I'm saying?
At least I'm good on time.
You good on time, brother. I'll give you that. Okay, give me your thoughts on how you feel about that. I mean, should we be putting more respect and on these icons, these legends who we still have alive with us? Should we give it to them while they're here? Or do you feel like we don't know when they're going to die, so we treat everybody the same?
Give everybody their flowers while they can smell them, because nobody can smell from 6 feet under.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what he said, Andy.
Man, I ain't giving you no flowers if you just got one popping album.
Okay. Wait, Andy.
Put in some more work.
Wait. First of all, who you talking about?
I'm speaking in general. I'm speaking in general. I'm with giving, somebody their flowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for Fat Man Scoop's case, he's fairly young.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't expect that.
True.
So off the rip, we just got to give him the flower. I'm just saying.
So you feel that way, like where this 5% is saying, how do we know they're supposed to pass?
How do we know?
Okay. All right. Well, I do believe we treat everybody with love and respect. I do believe that. I think that we gave Fat Man Scoop a lot of love. I think that on a regular basis, we gave him a lot of love. But KRS-One said, nah, we should have done better. I think he believes that we did him a little dirty. Well, it was a great conversation. And Chris Gunther, I do appreciate you coming on to talk about this with me today. Let everybody know where they can keep up with you online.
You can keep up with me online at Chris Gunther on all social media. Check out my website, The Chris Gunther Show, and catch me on the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love. We appreciate you, Chris. We appreciate you, Raw Squad, as well. I always appreciate y'all tapping in with us. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Tomorrow is Friday. Yep, we right back at it. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, is up next with the Fire Show, because that's how he gets down. I am your host, Robin Ayers. I've really enjoyed it today and this week in general. Meet us right back here tomorrow, y'all. I appreciate you. My name is Robin Ayers. Remember, today and every day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Georgia's governor is promising to direct what resources he can to Appalachia High School in Barrow County. Brian Kemp spoke with Barrow County's sheriff before speaking about the tragedy that killed 2 students and 2 school employees at Appalachia High School on Wednesday. President Joe Biden said more lives were cut short due to senseless gun violence, calling